So, viewers, fans, subscribers, and FGC goers all the same, I want to introduce you guys to the next episode of the Space Bridge, the podcast series for the Iacon battle circuit on console, sometimes also PC. So today, going over a lot of the landscape of fighting games that have been coming out so far, as 2026 has been rather abundant to us, with like the upstart here for Invincible Versus, or a lot of recent updates for stuff like City of the Wolves, or Guilty Gear, or Granblue, or Nan Impact, or Fighters for this weekend, or Mortal Kombat in the NRS realms. There's been a really good upsurgence of a lot of like good slice of life things for current games that are out and newer games that are also coming out also in order to counteract that. So there's something for everybody in the fighting game community. And just take a little bit of that. We're not going to go over like every single game out there, but to go over like a small batch of them for a point of interest in our roadmap here today, I took the time in order to sit and meet with a friend of mine to sit and talk about a lot of these things. I want to introduce you guys out there to Diaphone.
Yo, what up, boys? Oh, you got the clapping.
Oh yeah, soundboard.
I respect it. Let's go. I need to do that shit. How do you soundboard that stuff?
So
you just have like a stream deck and then you just plug in the sounds, or
actually, Discord has its own soundboard that you can customize and create. So like,
how do you do that?
So like in the call right here, or you can also do this in Discords down here on the open soundboard.
Oh shit!
And you can just bookmark these. Yes.
Yep. All right, I may make liberal use of this. All right, let's.
I encourage it.
First question.
I encourage it. So going into this, the first game I wanted to try and take a look at and go over a little bit was if you had a chance to delve into Granblue any?
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, Granblue. Granblue's cool. I mean, for me, it's like on a waiting period. You know, like we know it's coming out because the Arc Tour just happened like a month ago, and everyone's just kind of waiting to see what they're gonna do. They're also announcing like a huge system change, probably in 3.0. Again, that's still TBD. So like until then, I'm a chill. I play all the new DLC, the Master, and they're pretty fun. But like right now, it's like, I mean, I'm just waiting. I might keep it real. Like I'm going to the Level Up Expo in a week, and the thing about Level Up Expo is I was signed up for Granblue, but because like Granblue is not updated, but Guilty Gear is, I actually switched my Granblue registration to Guilty Gear for like my side game that I want to play. So yeah, I'm kind of like chill on Granblue, even though I like the game a lot. I like playing the new updates, you know.
Fair. You hyped for the new DLC character, or you want to see what they're bringing with it first?
I mean, I never played Relink much, right? Like, because he's like a Relink exclusive character. That's my understanding. So, like, I don't know. We'll see, right? Like, big sword dude that does cool shit. Like, that's kind of hard to get wrong, but you never know.
Yeah, like you want to try and like play it to the stereotype a little bit, and then you hit it out of the ballpark with a little extra bells and whistles. But we'll see how he delivers and see if he gives Siegfried and what's his name, Fireboy, a run for their money.
Yeah, I guess so. Fireboy's crazy. That's slander, man.
Percival, damn it!
Yeah.
Percival mans are gonna crucify me for that shit. Okay, let's bounce from Granblue. Let's take a look into City of the Wolves. So, in City of the Wolves, as you guys know out there, they got Game of the Year last year. They had like a hell of a lot of contenders in the pool to deal with, and they came out ahead as the underdog, justified as it was, and they were able to continue pushing some new stuff out there. For that game, does the game encourage like high risk taking, or does it skew towards like safe optimization or like cruise control with neutral?
You gave me a powerful tool, man. This is actually like when they add this shit.
It had to have been like 2 or 3 Discord updates ago.
Damn. Is that like in terms of month? Is that like, I don't know how often they update Discord.
Whenever
Like,
it is, I open
is
it
it?
up and they just have like a random thing. Was like, hey, today's date, where they have like a long sheet of something that they give you. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
then an update, some shit must have happened in the background.
yeah. This is hilarious, bro. Anyways, yeah. So Fatal Fury. The main thing that I'm excited for Fatal Fury is the 1 year anniversary is coming up in like a week. I heard there's gonna be some sick shit. I don't know what the sick shit is. That's all I can tell you because that's all I know. So we'll see. I mean, they're adding Kenshiro, so like if there's like some sick shit that like is also coming out, like I don't know, man. There might be some cool stuff on the way. That's all I can really say. But I don't know what it is. But I have a feeling they're gonna do something special for the 1 year anniversary. At least based on like the vibes and like what I see on social media. To answer your question about like, is it a high risk game?
Mhm.
I mean, that's kind of hard. I never like really thought of games as being like high risk or low risk. I think it's a simpler game, which means that risk taking and risk management is very optimized, right? Um, there's also compared to a game like Street Fighter 6, there's less how I say like there's more variety in the decision making. So for example, you get knocked down in Street Fighter 6 in the corner. Your options are delay tech, block, delay mash, invincible reversal, maybe jump. Maybe something that character specific, right?
Right.
But in City, there's a lot more, right? You can choose a just guard, you can choose the rev guard, you can choose a block, you can choose to fuzzy hop, you can choose to uh, backdash, which is a lot better in Street Fighter. You can choose the fuzzy jump, you can choose to raw jump, you can choose the raw hop, you can choose the mash, but you have different options to mash because close A's are really good to mash and they're fast, but you risk lows like the decision making is more nuanced, right? Which is pretty nice. Um, in terms of high risk, I don't really think so. I think especially as you look towards like high level play, the better players get, the less risky they play, right? The better they are at managing risk, and like of course, like sometimes you have to rip a DP, but you do it well proportioned, right? To the point where it's not actually, if you never DP in a game like Street Fighter or City of the Wolves, is actually more high risk than occasionally DPing and losing like all your life, right? So I mean, you've played fighting games, you understand that,
So
but
you do gotta throw it out somewhere.
um, yeah, but yeah, exactly. So like, is it a high risk game? I don't necessarily think so. Like the more I'm thinking about that term high risk game, I think of a high risk game. I'm gonna say net impact's a high risk game because you get hit once, you lose. You lose the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Invincible versus you get hit twice, you lose the game, right? So compared to those games, I feel like there's more interaction. So maybe I'll call it a low risk game. I guess I don't know.
Okay. Next question. How does the pacing influence the decision making under pressure?
I mean, how does pacing affect rock paper scissors, right? So if we're playing rock paper scissors, chances are you're gonna pick rock paper scissors, right? You're gonna pick one of the three. But if we do rock paper scissors, rock paper scissors, rock paper scissors, rock paper scissors, and you constantly have to guess like every second, patterns are gonna develop, right? And so in a game like City, where it's a lot more interactive, it's easier to catch on to opponents' habits and like patterns. And so I'd say like that's the main way it changes is that like sometimes you have to base your decision making off of like what your opponent's pattern is as opposed to like what's game theory optimal.
Okay. So just like it introduces commitment patterns earlier than later, or at different paces depending on pacing.
What's a commitment pattern?
Well, what you have to commit to in order to advance the chain of events that's going to happen. It depends on how flowcharty a character is. A game not necessarily has a flowchart to it, but characters might.
Sure. So by commitment pattern, you mean like uh
It's not so much what the character can do in their toolkit to commit to, but like how the player's going to commit.
yeah. Oh, so you mean like just committing to like how people commit to actions,
Yes.
essentially. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Sorry if that sounded confusing, but it just mainly just goes into like how the player would do their thing.
No, yeah, it's like I just never heard that term before.
Next question. With City of the Wolves, what defines the game's neutral compared to stuff like your Street Fighter or Strive? Or does it even possibly take a cue from the older gen of neutral?
So I think Street Fighter is a lot more similar to City than it is to Strive. So maybe we start there. I think some fighting games are a lot more reactive than other fighting games, right? So I think, for example, City of the Wolves. If you want to get to the highest rank, Legendary Wolf in City of the Wolves, you need to know one thing: how to get good at anti-airing. If you can consistently anti-air hops and anti-air like jumps, you're probably making the highest rank. If you can do that in Street Fighter, you might get to like Diamond, right? You need to know a couple other like checks. Like you have to learn how to beat Drive Impact and that sort of thing. A lot of the mental stack is actually just specifically around jumping because jumping is just so strong, right? But they're both like very reactive games. Whereas opposed to Strive, like Strive's reactive, but like there's like a layer of bullshit on top because the characters are so different, right? So like I think the neutrals are like most fighting game neutral is pretty similar. It's just like it's in different flavors. And I think specifically like City, it tests your reactions a lot more in the average game, specifically because jump is so strong.
As you climb ranks in that game, or climb the ladder, it pays to like have more. Well, I mean, obviously, it pays to have more game sense as you go, but you want to have like the correct things as you go through each hierarchy.
Sure.
Okay. Next question. Disregarding price, how accessible is the game for new players versus veterans?
So I think the most accessible games are ones that have a lot of other new players in them, so you can feel challenged, right? I think the issue of fighting games is if you spend too much time in zone, I'm gonna call it zone 1, zone 3. I'm just making up fucking terms too.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there's some games that do incorporate that. I know it's when you talk about like Zone 3 is like probably way out there or something. But yeah.
yeah, like if I fight like too many players that are below my skill level, I get bored, right? If I fight too many players above my skill level, I feel like I cannot improve, right? I feel discouraged. And so there's like the optimal zone of like in the middle that you really want to achieve for like optimal growth and enjoyment, right? Um, the best multiplayer online games do this. It's a lot easier in team games because you can always blame your teammates and like balance things out that way, right? But in a 1v1 game, that's a lot harder. In a 1v1 game where there's less people playing, it's even harder, right? Because like even if I have the best matchmaking system in the world, if there's no one else your skill level on, like, that sucks. I think Fatal Fury has that issue where I think it's a perfectly fine game for beginners to get in, but like I think you have to play at the right time where like a lot of other new players are getting in. So like let's say a sale drops or let's say I don't know, they have like new player events or something, right? Like I think there has to be like I think it's a lot easier to learn the game like if you have someone of equal skill. Like even if it's just a friend, right? Like I think you could perfectly learn that game if that's what interests you. But just having like if you could solve that issue, I think it's a perfectly fine game to get into.
Actually, they got something good going on here from whatever the update is I was looking at on their site. The next DLC character is getting ready to come out. Wolfgang Krauser. It's coming out the 24th.
Yeah.
So this could be a good chat at the end of the month. It could be a good time to get back into the game if you do have the game. If you do have the game, it's a good time to get back into it if you feel like you dropped it, or it's a good time to get into it if you want to actually try and pick it up. New character brings new hype, new interest.
Yeah, these look this. That new stage, I forgot about that new stage. That's it's an interesting looking stage, but I think he might be pretty cool. We don't know too much about him, Krauser, so
theater.
He might be pretty neat.
Clean theater stage though. Krauser comes from older Fatal Fury games, or does he come from another game as a special?
You're asking the wrong person, bro. I think he is from the older games, but I just don't know which one.
Because I know Geese is still incoming. Geese is like a Tekken OG, along with also being like relatively native to this game too.
Wait, are you trolling me?
I've seen him in like past Tekken games. Or was it just
he's not Tekken OG? Wait, you know Terry is like
Terry Bogard.
Terry's the Smash Brothers OG, right?
I've seen him there, yeah.
But he's not from Smash Bros. Like,
no, Terry comes from this game line. It's just it's funny, like it also goes back that far. Like there's a lot of long-standing IPs where it's really fun and fascinating, like how all of them crisscross and they each contribute to each other to some degree. Like,
but yeah, Geese being a Tekken OG is funny. Yeah, he's actually already out. He came out in February. He's pretty cool, actually. He plays plays a lot different than the rest of the cast. Yeah.
Does he play like his Tekken 7 counterpart, or way different?
I guess. I have no clue how to answer that. He plays. He doesn't even play like the old. He plays like. Because I used to think of Geese like back in 15, like he used to have like really good counters, right? And he used to have like good space control. Where I feel like here his main advantage is he actually has really good rushdown, right? So he has combos that lead into a hard knockdown, and he has good mix up too, because he has like a stance that goes into a high or low. I don't know how he plays on Tekken, but I just know people complained about him, and he did like a shit ton of damage on like any hit.
Yeah, that was basically about it. Yeah, but he was a fun character in general to play. His brother is naturally in the Fatal Fury game, or he's another DLC character.
His brother?
Yeah. Did he have a brother? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I'm about to Google. I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Oh wait, Geese Howard's half brother is. We've already said him.
Oh, okay.
No, do you know who his half brother is?
No.
Guess. We've only said like 5 Fatal Fury characters, so this is a pretty easy guess. This is crazy.
Rock?
Yeah, no, Krauser, the character that's coming out, is actually Geese Howard's half brother.
What? Wow.
That's what Google says.
That explains
I didn't know
why
that shit either.
Okay, that explains why he's in the trailer. But damn.
Oh, he's in the trailer? I didn't notice that.
Okay, chat, I got checked twice. Alright. That's 2 for Fatal Fury. That is awesome. Yeah, the development thing that talks about it's going over his move king. He's fighting Geese in the or Nightmare Geese in the sample piece.
Oh, that's very cool.
So, chat, the more you know. Next question. From what you've played through Season 1 into Season 2, I don't know if you played Season 2, but what do you feel has worked in Season 1 that should be preserved going forward in the game?
Fatal Fury?
Yeah, in Fatal Fury.
Wait. I mean, they didn't really change that much from Season 1 to Season 2, so that's a hard question to answer, to be honest.
Okay, because they usually do shakeups from time to time, and I know that game's had like a couple of patchworks. I didn't know if anything was major or small.
I think that the big thing they did was they changed around the SPGs, but like that's whatever. That's kind of like, I don't want to call it a bullshit change, but like everyone just switched their SVG placement from the first to the end. That's probably the biggest change. The biggest changes they made were they made a lot of like character specific changes. So the game had the issue in season 1 where it was like is fundamentally broke because some of the characters were just too damn good. And now it's like it's a lot more even, which is pretty good. So I guess keep balancing the game because no one likes to balance games.
Next question. What does the game teach us about modern fighting game design?
Again, I think you're asking the wrong person for this, but I would say all I can do is give a troll answer to say don't add Ronaldo to your game or something like that. But yeah, I honestly don't know. What does it teach us? I think that's kind of.
What does it show us? Let me redirect that. What does it show us about modern fighting game design?
So I think it's very obvious Fatal Fury is not as successful as it could be, right? Like you look at Steam charts or popularity or whatever metric you want. So to me, it's like it's actually the opposite. Like, what lessons can you learn from like Fatal Fury's lack of success despite the Saudi infinite money glitch, right? And I think it falls flat on a few different angles. Like looking back, obviously, like the marketing is like just omega fucked, right? And like I don't think adding Ronaldo and stuff did them many favors. But I think also like the game doesn't do enough to differentiate itself from Street Fighter 6. Like it tries to be a Street Fighter 6 I don't want to call it clone because they do different things. But it's like the issue the game has right now, it's like unless you're a top tier esports player, why would you play Fatal Fury instead of Street Fighter 6 unless you have like a long standing legacy towards the franchise, right? And I don't think the IP is that strong to like garner that many players. Like it obviously garners some. And I know some people play it because they play the old Fatal Furies back in the day, and that's cool. But like that's not like there was more than a success in that, right?
Right.
So I think again, I think if you're part of the industry, you probably analyze this a lot more than me. I just play the games and I try to get really good at them. But for me, it's like maybe they should have took more risk on like like made it more casual friendly in terms of single player. Maybe they should have took more risk in like the graphics. Maybe those mattered more than we thought. Maybe they should differentiate game design more. I honestly don't know. But those are the things that come to my mind.
And that's fair to say. It's like when it came to the marketing of this game, it's been like an uphill battle for it to really stay relevant without wanting to be too extreme. It wants to try and stay to the norms of like what Fatal Fury has done in the prior generation coming into the current one. There's a few older players that I've talked to that have told me that the City of the Wolves, while it is really good, it doesn't play any like how old or traditional Fatal Fury does play. It's a whole other concept that's above my head. So I couldn't really grasp like what the older Fatal Fury played like. But the newer one, while it's nice, there is still some more fine tuning it is that it could use to kind of restructure a purposeful identity to its original IP. And so I hear that, and then I'm thinking, okay, but if this is different from the formula, the original formula, and it's a contrast of it, then to some degree I can understand. It's not my business to say, but I can understand how some people feel like it's a duplicate of Street Fighter 6's formula. Not trying to be not trying to be a new Street Fighter 6, but it's copying the same formula to achieve something very similar.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell like it took a lot of inspiration, right? Like,
Very.
like was the rev system is basically the drive gauge system in reverse, you know? Like, the rev blows are basically drive impact. Like, these are the things that the older game didn't used to have, right? And they added them. But is it for the better or worse? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Like even they add smart style, right, to contrast Street Fighter 6's modern. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think it's I think it's tough trying to compete with Street Fighter 6, to be honest. Like they do too many things right.
Yeah, and so I think the best way that Fatal Fury can try and do the best it can. I don't think it can be. It was a giant in the previous generation because of a lot of founding principles in its own right, but I don't think it can really do that same. It can't deliver in that same way promotion wise, but it can still deliver in that in slice of life wise. It can still deliver in that context. But as in its current thing right now, going into season 2, I don't think it'll be able to keep up with the numbers for Street Fighter 6, but it can still give access to that same type of neutral simplicity.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, the game's doing better than a lot of people think. I think that the worst time for the game was like 9 months ago, and I think honestly, it's been like I've said that it's actually kind of had like a resurgence, or because you have like they've been basically doing everything right. Like, yeah, sure, the launch was like a little botched, in terms of like marketing, in terms of like the optics of like how badly the game was balanced and that sort of thing. But they've had some great patches. They're adding characters every month. Like that's actually kind of crazy, right? So
Yeah, that's
um
highly unheard of for
yeah,
any game
and
on the market
like
right now.
yeah, and like they most prize money, like they're doing the best they damn well can to salvage it, which is I think it's pretty cool. Especially someone that like loves the IP and has played SNK games for 15 years, right? Like I want to see it do well.
Yeah,
So I think they're doing the right steps, and hey, maybe there's more to come next week.
there could be. Well, there might be more coming with Crawler that we haven't even seen yet. Next question. How has the community responded to the game's mechanics and its updates? We talked about how we respond and only like the best way that we can, but how has the community responded, or how have they taken it?
I mean, like I think overall the same way, right? Like people are just generally positive about. I think most of the community left after like the first like month, but like the core people that are left are like pretty positive, and I think I think people are generally positive about the future direction.
And all we can do is just see how they play their cards out each update, and then
Yeah, exactly right.
see how the events go. Because as long as they're continuing to keep doing something good and something enriching with the scene that has a public eye with it, people are able to stay as informed as they can. Those that want to be with Fatal Fury and that want to stay in the know, you have a good source that's applicable right there in which to go to and constantly apply. And then just see if your locals have anything. Support your locals. That way they can keep them up and going. If they got anything online, drop them a line. Go on ahead and just go do your thing. Moving from Fatal Fury, there's a pretty good amount we went into there that covers just about everything for Fatal Fury. Let's move into 2XKO. So with 2XKO, with those of you guys that are out there, so the most recent patch that had just happened and update, we introduced our next legend into the game, which was Akali. Starting to fill out the roster a little bit more. Really cute ninja chick. Has a hell of a lot of nice lore behind her. If you know League of Legends background, then you know I'm not a League person. I had a League head on that kind of checked me on a lot of League of Legends stuff that I didn't realize that has so much lore to it. What are your first impressions so far about Akali?
I've switched these around for a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I've been playing more gears than 2X lately, so I haven't like fought against a super good Akali, but like I still kind of get the general vibe of like what she's going for. At first I thought this character was trash. I'm like, this character is bottom one. Like, bro, what were they thinking? Like releasing this champ? Like, she got no mix, she got no damage, she got like no neutral, she got the worst assist in the game. And if you know anything about Kali, like a couple of the statements aren't really true, right? Like her damage is actually quite good. Her combo game's quite good. Her mix up took people to figure out like, hey, this JM's 2 hits and it's kind of cheap. Like it's actually pretty good. So I think she's actually gonna be pretty decent. I think she required more fleshing out than I thought she would. I don't think she's like top tier or anything. It wouldn't surprise me if this character ends up like mid tier. I think she's still lacking a lot in like the assist department, which is kind of unfortunate for a character in this game. Like I think she easily has the worst assist in the game. But she has a lot of pros making up for her, right? Her combo damage is really good. She access limit strike easily. Her neutral's really strong. Her one away is probably some of the best in the game. So I think she's a solid mid tier, but we'll see.
Okay. Because like her combo game, I thought it was like some of the sexiest I've seen. Because her movement feels like very chip inspired, but and her combo game takes a couple of cues from Echo, with a lot of nice like added stuff to it that she can pick up off of, or she can just use for setups.
Yeah, she's good. Did you try the expert trial number 5?
No. I'm scared to see what that
Try it
looks like.
sometime. Yeah, try it sometime. It's one of the harder combo trials I've ever done. Let's put it that way.
Oh my gosh. Okay, bet I will take a look. All right, chat bookmark expert trial 5. Next question. Is her skill floor versus the high ceiling ratio healthy for the game?
I think I think having a game with a really high skill ceiling has zero downside. I know that's kind of a hot take. Um, but I think having a really high skill ceiling is really important to keep your top, like the people at the top, engaged and have something for like newer players to shoot towards, right? I think this game could do a better job at skill floor. Right now, I think it's kind of intimidating for a lot of new players trying to learn 2 new characters at once. And like, yeah, sure, you can learn Juggernaut, but then you play someone with 2 characters that play 2 characters at once, and you're at a disadvantage, right? So like, I don't know. I think they could do something to fix that. I think the answer actually lies in like like a 1v1 queue or like forced duos or something. But yeah, I don't think it really matters how much. I think ideally you want a big gap between skill floor and skill ceiling, but I don't think they do the. I think they do the skill ceiling great. I don't think they do the skill floor that well.
Okay. There's almost a balance, but there's just an unfortunate natural imbalance. Next question: how does she synergize in a lot of the tag teams? Does she enable like new compositions?
Probably. I think she's kind of greedy because her assists are bad, right? So I think you need to pair her with someone that is pretty self-sufficient, and I think Akali is also self-sufficient. So I think you either play 2 self-sufficient characters, like for example, like Arya Akali, I think is a pretty good team, or you play like someone that really enables Akali to do her thing. So like a Ari Caitlyn. Ari Caitlyn maybe not the best combo synergy, but like Ari Timo, for example. No, sorry, Akali Timo, I think could work too.
Okay.
But I think there's certain teams like I probably wouldn't play like Akali Darius. I don't know. That team doesn't sound like it has too much synergy off the top of my head.
Sounds very in your facey.
Yeah, I mean it's like they both just want different things, right? Like I feel like a Darius team you either want to like you either need someone to like help them get in and skip neutral, which Akali can't really do, or you play like a turn your brain off 2x assist team and like you don't play 2x assist with Akali. It's just terrible.
Yeah. Like I don't really see how like for him, I don't see how Darius's like assist can really like help her out too much in like the getting game. Playing the neutral game, yeah, but there's other characters that can.
If you have 2x, like it'll help you get in, right? But because like it's just so oppressive. But like, why would you run 2x when you could play like another character that also has good 2x, like Alawi or something, right?
Right.
Or Braum or whatever.
Yeah, so it's just 2 different game plans that just can't really mesh well.
Yeah, I think so.
Next question. With the way that her combos flow and the team synergy, does Akali reward creativity or like flow chart?
This question is trying to trigger me into a philosophical debate about fighting games that I'm not going to go into. I will say, um, there's no false dichotomy here. Like this is you can have both, right? I think being really creative in 2XQ is necessary to have a good flowchart. So I personally, yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I think that applies to every character in this game. I think creativity is rewarded in 2XQ, but you have to. The creativity comes in how you structure your flowchart, not like just doing stuff off the cuff. I mean, obviously you can do stuff off the cuff, and that's important, but um, like the vast majority needs to be flowcharted. It's just the way this is the way team tag games work.
Right. Next question, and last one going into Akali's take here. Is she more fun to play against or to play as?
I don't know. See, these are things I just don't think about, man. I think she's fun. I don't mind fighting her. I think it's cool to fight them. So yeah, I guess pretty equal.
Any fun teams you went up against that made it like really interesting to see how creative people can make with her kit?
Like I said, I haven't played a good Akali yet, so I think I just need to fight like a really good one. Like the best Akali I fought was like pretending that I was fighting my own Akali, you know. Like I'm sure they're good at Akali's exist. It just takes a while for like people to get the character down, you know. Like it's not this game's so complex that like it's really hard to pick up a character in like a week and be like proficient with them.
That part I can believe because there's like you can like I mean obviously I mean you can pick up a team and get and try and get like a somewhat of an idea, but to it takes time to learn each character individually to competently apply the team.
Yeah. It's not only do you have to learn the new team, but you have to learn a new character. It's like you have to learn two new things at once, as opposed to like just learning like a new character in like Street Fighter. Like,
Yeah, that's one. That's one
like,
and one as
like
opposed
I
to
feel
here
like
it's
that's
two.
actually easier. Yeah, and like there's less situational awareness you need. Like the characters you're playing the game or you're playing the person more than you're playing the game. Like there's a lot of reasons for it, but yeah, the TLDR is like I think it's really hard to learn a new character in this game like quickly.
Yeah, going from let's see, went from Granblue into 2X to City of the Wolves. So next, let me delve into a little bit of Invincible versus. Did you get a chance to like really delve into the beta any?
Yeah, I mean I'm in the credits. Well, soon I guess. So yeah, I grinded a bit.
Oh, you made top 20?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
I just have to find the time to do it. I actually gave myself a handicap because you had 3 days to do it, and I couldn't play for the first day and a half because I had to make jam content. So I did it in like a day and a half, which is pretty cool.
clean. What were your thoughts on the beta going into Invincible versus actually playing it?
Uh, Honestly, like I forgot a lot about the game from like the time before the beta. So I was just like, my thought was, all right, I really want to get into the credits, so I'm just gonna spam the bullshit, and I forget what the bullshit is, so I'm just gonna like turn on and like figure out how to do that, and so that's what I did.
That'll work. Okay. Um, Next question. What was your immediate reaction after your first few matches on the game?
It's gonna sound crazy, but because I didn't play day one where like most of the people rage quit, I didn't get any rage quits for like 2 hours. So if you're like, oh yeah, of course I got a rage quit, like it actually took me a while to get them because I think most of the good players like most of the bad players already rage quit and refunded their game. Um,
Let's say you are mad lucky.
I guess yeah. I mean, I eventually got them. I think I only attend the whole beta, which is that's only like I think I played like maybe 80 matches, so one out of every 8 matches was a rage quit. I guess that's not that lucky, but um, it's probably luckier than other people. But I'd say overall, like as I went through the beta, I started to realize like just how scrubby the game was. Because like I think the first couple hours, you're like trying to just remember the controls, right? You're trying to remember your combos. You're trying to remember like, okay, this is how I assist. This is how I heroic strike. This is how I raw tag, right? So I feel like the first so many hours, you're just focused on yourself. You're not focused on like what's actually bullshit in the game. And then as the beta went on, I'm like, wait a second. Wait a second. This Omni Man DP is like a little too good, you know?
Like, why did they give that boy a safe DP, dude? I can't.
Apparently it's not frame 1 invul. It's like frame 2 invul. Like that matters. Like
That does
like it's
kind of
still not
help,
fucking
but
bullshit.
it's not much,
Yeah.
but that does help a little bit.
If you could like knock it, if it just reset you to neutral, I'd be okay with it. But the fact that you got full combo, I think that's what's. And it's not even just Omni Man. Like there's other ones that are just as good. Like that fucking the robot has the same shit. I didn't even abuse robot. I played robot. I didn't abuse it till like the last hour. I was like, wait a second. I can just hold down back and mash armor. What am I doing with my life?
The robot was actually kind of all right. He kind of felt like a Sector. Gave me a lot of Sector vibes with how you can use him in team
Yeah,
combinations.
yeah. I thought he was quite good. I didn't think he was the best, but he is
Consistent.
quite strong. I thought great assist. Great mobility. He's just didn't. He had like really bad combos, so I think that kind of held him back.
Throughout the beta, what characters stood out the most to you and why?
I mean, Omni Man just overhead, unreactable overhead plus the bullshit DP plus probably the best projectile in the game. Like, why does this character have so much shit? I don't know. Invincible Saint, like that's one of the best lariats in like fighting games, and then I think anyone with like a cheap ass armor move I thought was really good too.
Next question. What features feel missing, or what do you think are the biggest issues that need to be addressed before the main launch of the game?
So I think the graphics are the biggest issue, but I don't think they're gonna address that because that's obviously quite hard. They've actually improved the graphics a bit, but
If
I
you
still
saw the
think
first
like
beta,
I
the graphics are
wait,
way.
what's up?
I was gonna say, if you saw, no, not to interrupt you, if you saw the first beta that they had versus this one, the graphics have had a massive level up.
Yeah, they definitely look better. I think but I still like the most common criticism I see of the game is like people just quote retweeting a clip and they're like, "Damn, this game looks like shit." And it's like, yeah. Unfortunately, like there's a lot better looking fighting games out there, right? Like, I mean, it sucks to say, but it's true. I think game system wise though, I think the online filtering needs to be a little bit better. Maybe like actually add the elo system instead of like whatever bullshit rank they had. And that way like things would be a little bit more condensed. Because right now, like this rank system was just how much can you grind, which is like a really bad rank system, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then so like make it elo, so like the matchmaking's tighter, and then just like I would change the game up a little bit. I understand if you want like characters that have like safety Ps and stuff, but like I understand that's the game. I wouldn't change too much of the balance, but if you are gonna change, like if it were up to me, I would probably make it so like mashing like maybe if like you're gonna do invincible DP, maybe make it so it's on down back. Maybe someone have to hit forward to do a DP because right now it's just they're just too like I think armor moves are just too strong right now. So like I don't know what they'll actually do, but I hope they do something to like weaken that a little bit.
Okay. And then, what were your thoughts further about the combat engine, or the way things felt, or the movement?
It felt decent. Honestly, I thought the movement felt better this patch than last one, so it's kind of a dub in my book.
The main thing that bothered me the more I was playing that game was that, it didn't feel like anything had block stun, and that shit really bothered me.
Yeah, I kind of agree. To me, it felt like I think there's a couple issues. One that's like the input buffer system felt weird. So like sometimes you would try to like take your turn back after something, and you would just wouldn't get your jab right away, or like you said, that it like had less block stun than you think it should have, and so you just jab late, right?
Yeah,
Like
because like
there's
moves
a
are
couple
9
moves that
frames, and then grabs are like 5 frames, but it never feels like any of that is enforced. Like you just it just doesn't. Nothing feels as it should.
yeah, I agree with that. Will they fix? I don't know how you fix that though. But yeah, I do
I don't
agree.
know. I feel like that's got to be like a day one or a week one hot fix to try and take a look at if that wasn't already the thing, or was the beta just a prelude for us to just grind and get a feel of the game, and then techies are kind of left wondering at the door until like the day of launch type shit. I just
I just don't know what you like actually change. It's like do you just add more block stun to everything? I don't know if that's the answer, right? Like you just make the game slower.
that's what I'm trying to figure out because it gives off a lot of hyper fighters vibes with what they want to try and do with the tag system and making it the more you incorporate the tag engine, the more of a two-touch game this feels, which means that you need to try and have block stun or more respective pushback on moves for your defensive value so that way you're not in constant scramble situations doing everything.
But yeah, we'll see. I
Yeah, that's all we
don't
can
know.
do.
I'm curious to see what they cook up.
That's all we can do is just see what they're gonna do. Were there any clearly overpowered or underwhelming characters?
I mean, literally just what I said. The thing is, I actually don't know who the weakest character is. I feel like everyone at least had like some type of dirt, so it's kind of hard. The underpowered didn't seem like very obvious to me. If I had to guess, maybe I would guess like Adam Eve, but like maybe she's like more technical. It just takes time to develop, so it might not actually be her. Um, I thought Thula seemed a little weak too, but again, it's like I don't know, man. It's too hard to tell in the beta.
For what it's worth with Thula, though, I feel like her normals don't do that much damage, but I feel like her neutral, her movement, and her combo structure all feels right. Like she could be like a continual, like, base team pick going into the start of the game. Like her
Yeah,
over
she could be.
Alien.
I think the issue is like she didn't have anything like super cheap in my opinion. Like she doesn't have like bullshit armor like most of the cast,
Mhm.
unless I'm mistaken. And then like her assists just kind of seem mid too. So it's like if you're gonna play her, you should probably play her on point because like I think you need a good assist in this game. And then like I think there's just better point characters. That's the issue I see with her. But like I mean, she might be actually be really good at point. Like she has some like really good normals, like you said. So who knows? It's a beta. Like they're gonna switch shit up anyways.
Yeah, because it's not totally like the final product of it. This is the beta to
Yeah.
give us a prelude of what's going to happen. So all we can do now is just see how actual launch week goes, and then we can see how everything is confirmed or changed. And then next, and I guess we'll probably see if we head into our closing thesis, is to talk about Guilty Gear Strive. So, chat, as you all know, Guilty Gear Strive recently had like the massive overhaul that had happened with going into 2.0, sunsetting 1.0, taking out one of the main controversial mechanics of the game at that time, and so now we're in 2.0. Yep, thought on that. And we got a new DLC pass, and the Missy Jam is upon the land. So we got a lot to delve into for Guilty Gear Strive's sake and the new landscape that's upon us. So, first question going into Guilty Gear Strive. Now, with Wild Assault out, I don't know if they put in the new mechanic or if the game is just in a vanilla-y set right now until they put it in, but how does Guilty Gear Strive play right now?
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't see Counterblitz?
No, I did not. I don't know what it looks like.
Oh yeah, so they did add a new mechanic to replace Wild Assault. It's called Counterblitz. The idea is you use 50% burst just like you use for Wild Assault, but it's like really toned down. It's like only for like niche, like counter hit confirms, right? Um, I'd say it really does feel like a back to basics patch where like a lot of stuff is toned down, but it's still Guilty Gear, so it's like it's still bullshit everywhere. I think that's the easiest way to say it.
Okay. With the balance patching that had happened, are there any like clear winners or losers of the patch that you see, or did it shake up the meta?
Did you see the Happy Chaos Infinite on on Twitter?
One of my friends showed me that shit, and then they also, I think, would patch that shit out like just as fast, or he still got it.
Nope. So apparently it's going to be legal for Evo Japan.
Hey, oh my gosh,
So
bro.
it's gonna Evo Japan's gonna be a blow up if they allow that shit. It's Happy Chaos is absolutely broken. And not that he hasn't been absolutely broken before, but like he's still absolutely broken. He might maybe the most broken he's ever been. Like that shit is insane. So
There's
yeah,
any
look
happy
out for
down
Evo
players out there,
Japan.
I'm sorry. Might
Yeah,
as well have
everyone
that
said
again.
he was bad, and then yeah, I never listened to Happy Chaos is out of down players. I never listened to, bro. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Like the character
Um,
might not always be at like the top, but he will never be a bad character.
Yeah, me. I don't know if I have my way, he won't be.
Yeah.
If I have my way, he won't be at the top. So we'll see. Um, I don't know. You just have to like. It's too hard to say. Again, the game's only been out for like a week, right? A little over a week, and
Hmm.
like because they changed so much, it's hard to tell. Like, there's obvious winners like Happy Chaos because he's bugged, and like I've seen some people say like Anji, for example, is broke. Like you look at the leaderboards, and one plays Anji, and like he didn't really lose that much. I don't know. It's too hard to tell. Ramathal, I think, is a big winner because, uh,
That's
a lot of people. She plays exactly the same, and she's already strong. Leo and Naga both got new moves, and they're both really good moves.
Oh yeah, I
So,
remember Leo did get that because now he can do a hell of a lot more with his stance with the leaping over people while in stance. I'm just like, bro, why did they give that monkey character that shit?
yeah, no, he's already strong. So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, and we'll just see where Evo Japan takes us once they get that going here, and then if Jack goes, just expect happiness. Next question. Let's focus a little bit more on the leading lady, Jam. So, how does Jam's playstyle translate into Strive compared to her older version?
I never played in the older version, so I can't really say. But my understanding from people that have played her, she's really similar. But she like has the emphasis on she's like more like she's very like 50-50. Like the most bullshit thing she has in this is like the fact that she can do airborne low. And that wasn't really like a big aspect of her gameplay before, right? Where before she had like puffball was really strong, still pretty good in this patch, but the empty puffballs are actually better. And then like the dragon kick was like absolutely insane. Like here, dragon kick is like it's okay, like it's a good RC move because it moves forward, but it's not like you don't just throw it out like fuck it, like you could back in Guilty Gear days.
Okay. How do you feel about her design change from what she looked like in the first from what she looked like in like I guess like
Bro, you gonna
excursion
ask me
and
about like the fucking angry cubers on Twitter saying like, oh no, she's a little fat and we can't see her underwear, so like Guilty Gear
well
Strive
not
is
that no
the the problem of woke society. Like,
no.
bro, I don't give a shit. Like,
I just like I
I
like
think
the
it's
design
fine.
for like the aesthetic change and whatnot. I'm not really too worried about that extra stuff. That's just the Gooners not happy about that shit. Let no, they gotta hold
Yeah.
that shit. You gotta worry about proper professionalism in how you glow up a design while still keeping a lot of the cultural niceties about her design still in check. And that's why I like that they still kept a lot of the Chinese culture with her design still in check while trying to like age her up compared to her Exert design. Who's saying she's not thick? She has a little bit going on.
Hey, I'm just going off what the gooners on Twitter are saying.
They're stirring the pot. We're just looking at the stew, just wondering like, bruh, nah, I'm good. I see the spices. Next question. With Jam, what are her win conditions like? Is she like rushdown? She got like pressure loops or like really good resource management? Like, how does she fit into the system direction?
So again, I think you're trying to trigger me into another philosophical fighting game debate. I hate the term win condition. I just like people like it. Win conditions lower the health bar to 0, if you ask me. That being said, she is definitely more of a rushdown character, right? Like she excels being just like most Guilty Gear characters, like having you on their back and doing good mix. Her mix is especially strong because her block strings are quite good. She has a lot of different options out of them that beat a lot of different things. Just me, I guess you could say she's a rushdown type of character. Yeah.
When I saw the strategy guide for her, that's why I'm thinking she feels pretty rushdowny, but like I'm trying to think, she feels like a rushdown that could kind of keep herself safe on a lot of options going in when she goes in. I'm not.
I mean, she
sure
has
how to
puff
word it.
ball, right? Which is like it's like a full screen attack, but it's minus, so like they can take their turn after. So you gotta be like really tactical of like how you use her stuff because her defense is amazing. So if you like, for example, you puff ball, you're -8. Now you have to take a mix up at -8, right? Like so, like yeah, she can skip neutral, but it's not like the best skip neutral compared to a lot of characters.
Okay.
Like, but she still has stuff like the airborne low. I think is still like crazy bullshit, and she has our like her command dash is pretty good. So she has ways to skip neutral, but I think honestly her neutral is like it's honest because her rushdown is that strong, you know.
Yeah. Next question. Going into the new mechanic that they put in the game, was drive assault is what they called it. What was the new mechanic that they put in the game outside when they took out
Oh,
Wild's
counter blitz.
Counter Blitz. So how does Counter Blitz hold up in terms of its and what it's delivering on for the
Honestly,
mechanic direction?
don't tell Arxis this. It moves ass. I have intentionally used that move once in my life. It's just people. I think most people recognize it's like really bad. So, but I think they intentionally undertuned it because the last mechanic they added was overtuned, right? So right now it's just kind of like people are trying to find niche uses for it, and some characters actually benefit a bit because they have like long range buttons they can't really convert from. But at least for Jam, like you never use it because it's just not worth it.
Damn, that's most unfortunate. Because the way they made it sounds like they're trying to just introduce like another defense mechanic into the game.
What do you mean?
With a lot of the tournaments that I've hosted over the years on the game, like Wild Assault was just used for like extra layers for some characters that don't already have like something like consistent in their toolkit. And so this felt like, okay, this was either going to replace it as an aggressor option or was just going to be a defensive option.
It's more of like it's a counter hit confirm option. So you'd think it's for offense, but it's just really, really undertuned. So you just don't have a chance to use it very much for it to be the right thing to use, right? Because like, for example, I'm playing Jam. I get a counter hit 5H. I could either do a full combo from that 5H by canceling into my kick, or I could do counter blitz and spend 50 burst meter and do way less damage, right? Like it doesn't really make sense in a lot of situations unless like I'm trying to lock out burst or something.
So is it safe to say that a possible direction pivot that could be incorporated going into Season 5 would probably be a means to help showcase or give more importance to the new mechanic?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it has to be a season change. You just like make it do more damage or something. I think you just gotta slowly introduce it, right? There's
Yeah.
like again, they introduced Wild Assault and it's the most broken thing ever. So they're trying to play it more conservative, and I think that's the right call.
Okay. And then, last question going into, I guess, the current landscape of all the games that we talked about, and the ones that we have yet to talk about, but we can still speculate to see like what the pros and the cons are going to be for their grow up or their continual expansion over the course of the year, or just their time just being in the limelight as they're getting more integrated into the FGC verse. What are your hopes for a lot of these games and the directions they're taking, or at least for the dev team trying to listen to us?
Wait, what? By these games, do you mean like every fighting game, or like specifically Guilty Gear when you refer to the dev team, or?
So a lot of the games that are in the limelight right now, in order to touch up on like the stuff for the current 2026 landscape. So Strive is one. Yeah, Invincible versus going forward, that would be one. I could argue Hunter x Hunter probably being one. I can argue Street Fighter. Street Fighter is kind of wrapping up the season 3. Tekken is trying to backtrack a lot of shit from season 3's launch, so that could possibly be one.
I think the easiest way to answer this is I generally like fighting games, right?
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of potential for fighting games. I don't think they reached their peak. I think they're growing, and they need to. I want them to continue to grow, not only from a pure selfish perspective, because hey, more people play fighting games, therefore more people watch my content or something, right? But also from like a less selfish perspective, in the sense that like I think fighting games are really cool. I've learned a lot playing them, and I think people would enjoy them if they really gave it a fair chance. And I think if fighting games grow and then like people make better products, that happens, right? So, I personally am optimistic, and I want them to just keep fighting the good fight, because like I think guilty games like Guilty Gear, like Fatal Fury 2X, like they're all doing the right things. Um, Maybe some of it's too little, too late, but at the same time, like you can see like the success, like Guilty Gear's looking great despite being 5 years old at this point, right? So,
Yeah,
um, I think Tekken's starting to take notes. So, like, I think overall, like, the better these games do, it kind of creates like a symbiotic cycle where other games do better, and it raises the bar for everyone, and therefore, you know, it's not fighting game versus fighting game; it's fighting games versus other types of entertainment, right? So, I
yeah.
think it's all the fighting games just kind of rise up together. That's how I'd like to see it.
I can agree with that. Like the main thing that all these games are fighting for is either the people's attention, or you're fighting for like having the proper lens on the genre compared to other genres, like what you're saying. Oh, hang on, let's look at you in chat. Hey CJ, most anime fighting games do last. It depends on the IP. It depends on how invested the IP is. There's some anime fighting games that are better than others, but they're not necessarily like lasting a long time because you have to take age into account for how old the IP is. Not the game, but how old the IP is, and like how well versed it is in media. Like you can compare like between like Melty Blood and Unist. How versed are you in those games?
I like them. I mean, the thing is, like, when I see it, like, yeah, anime games, I think CJ in the chat, he said something like anime games do last a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could argue that about everything, right? Like, Mortal Kombat X came out, what, 13 years ago, and there's more people playing that game than, like, every other anime game combined right now. If you look at the
Unironically,
Steam charts.
that's
Yeah.
crazy when you think about that.
So like but there's different definitions of like what lasts a while, right? Because at the same time, like if you like Under Night, you like Melty, you can play those games and have a good time, right? I love Under Night. I played that game last year for a couple of weeks. I thought it was a great time, and if that's the kind of game that fits your playstyle, I mean, I personally like Under Night more than Mortal Kombat X. So I choose to play it, right? And I think that's the cool thing about fighting games is you don't need like a super huge community to play, right? You don't need thousands of people on Steam to play. You just need one other person to fight, right?
That's it.
So that does help the longevity of those games for sure.
It does. It helps with a lot of the just base return value. It's like I remember one time, one of my friends from the BBTAG community, we had noted, gotcha. One of my friends introduced me to what was it, Arcana Heart, which is like this old ass fighting game on PC. But one of the main characters, Heart Ino, that's in BBTAG, I got a chance to play her in like one of those in the original form over there. That game is so beautiful, Diaphone. It's a shame it's not.
BBTAG, bro. BBTAG's like top. You don't have to tell me, man. That's a top favorite fighting game of mine for sure.
Gotcha.
If you look at my Twitter header, I pay homage to it. That's my original BBTAG team.
Someone told me you were a Hilda player. Hang on.
I played in 2.0, but Hilda only came out in 2.0, right? So the first ever major I traveled to for this game was Combo Breaker, and it's the first time like I actually did good at tournament. But I did with Blake Merkava. That's like my original team.
That is a beautiful duo.
First time I ever won like a major for a BBTAG is also with Blake Merkava.
Damn, a Merkava OG. It is an honor. I don't see too much of him in BBTAG, so I appreciate seeing the diversity when I can. He's like a weird comparison to his uni self, but the play style is all still the same.
Yeah, they nerfed the shit out of him in 2.0. That's why you don't see him that much now.
Yeah,
but like back when he came out, he was a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that does basically kind of go over everything that I had for you here today to go over regarding at least like a handful of the 4-ish, 5-ish topics I wanted to try and delve into here today for the weekend. Blaze Central Fiction is still hanging in there. It sure is. That rollback helped it a lot on PC. PlayStation unfortunately has to hold the L for it, but we'll hold it in grace. But I thank you for taking time here today, Diaphone, in order to sit and talk with me about the landscape of 2026 FGC.
Oh yes, it was fun, and I appreciate having me on.
See how the rest of this goes. Hope to try and see if I can have you back later on down the line once everything kind of culminates and get an idea of see from where that is then from where we are now.
Oh yeah, raid itsYoast. He's doing the final night for uni. Oh. He's doing the uni break. Yeah, grid break final day.
How do I? What's the name of it? itsYoast.
It's just itsYoast. YOAST.
All together?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I got you, CJ. Yeah, I'm gonna go over and join him also and watching the Fighters Masters thing and finishing it up. Want to see if Hikari gets clapped or not.
Yo, you're not a Hikari fan?
Oh no. He and the New York scene know that I'm not a big fan of him like that.
Are you NYC? Are you NYC or?
No, I'm from Maryland.
Oh, okay. Wait. So what do you got against New York? I'm Jersey, right? Like I'm like New York adjacent.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just that me and Hikari just have a past history is all. So I don't really wish him well in too much of that stuff. But I also respect
it's all good. I just like seeing
those things.
Hikari got a lot of past history of people, so I understand.
It's just that others aren't as open about it. I'm very open about it. I got nothing to hide.
He's hot headed, right? So it's like I see he can like rub people the wrong way, but I think he's a competitor at heart, right?
He is. And I'll give him a little bit of credit that as he got older, he probably managed to like keep a cool on that type of stuff. But still, I mean, history is history. Like, he didn't want to bury the hatchet then. Don't worry about it now. You do you, I do me.
Them young kids, man. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, yep. Thanks for having me on, man.
Always. I hope to try and see if I can have you back one day.
Right, wait till I win. After I win Evo someday.
You're going to achieve greatness. I already see it. I don't know which event you're
I'm
going to
trying
win,
it,
but
bro.
you're gonna achieve greatness. And then we're gonna be here. I'm gonna be that first dude to interview you, and you're gonna show me all this shit that you want on the side, and we're gonna see all this. And then everybody out there that said Diaphone couldn't do it, they gotta hold that shit.
Yeah, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. It's you'd be surprised how hard I work. But it is worth it, you know.
Yeah, it's all a part of the dream.
You get it. So, all right, man. Take care. I gotta get going, and have a good one.
All right, you too. All right, chat.
Peace.
We're gonna get ready to raid itsYoast in order to watch Grid Break number 2 in the finals. You guys take care. This is me and Diaphone signing off. And you know what we say. Till all are one.